Welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast with author Sarah F. Hathaway and co-host Chen Gibson. Blending survival, fiction, and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sarah F. Hathaway and Chen Gibson.
Chapter 16. Cole listened to the truck rattle as they approached Minneapolis. The crews had worked hard to patch the roads back together, but they were nothing close to the condition they were before the quake. The gigantic walls surrounding the city stood tall on the horizon. "Still creeps me out to see it like this," Chappie commented, watching the concrete structure grow bigger. "It's a trade-off. They make the meds, and we make sure they're fed. Better than chaos on the streets," Monroe commented. Cole had to wonder if Monroe was trying to convince Chappie or himself. "I guess," Chappie agreed skeptically. "You might feel differently if you were on the inside." "Yeah, well, I ain't on the inside, Chappie. They could join the fight and be on this side too," Monroe declared. "What if they aren't physically capable?" Chappie countered. "Then they can be most useful in there," Monroe added. "It's just the way it has to be until we can recover." Listening to them bicker, Cole's nose detected a sour smell in the air as they approached an exterior gate. The guard recognized Cole and waved them through. The gravel crunched under their tires as Cole stopped the transport in front of an exterior building. "I'm going to check in with Colonel Payne," Cole told them. "You guys wait here." The door squeaked as it opened, and the smell was even worse outside. Cole's boots sunk into the thick gravel as he jumped out of the truck. Approaching the building, he could tell that large pieces had to be rebuilt after the quake. However, it looked sound enough and retained some of its former glory. It smelled fresh as he entered, and his reflection beamed back off the recently mopped floor. He approached a desk and requested to see Colonel Payne. "She's in her office, sir," the man declared. He pointed down the hallway. "It's the door at the end, sir." "Thank you, Private," Cole acknowledged as he walked into the dimly lit corridor. To his surprise, it was cooler. He knocked at the door, waiting for a response. The colonel's voice was pointed as she answered from the other side, asking him to enter. "Colonel Payne, ma'am. Major Virgis, reporting as directed." The woman awaiting him was tall with an average build. She was muscular, but Cole could still see the curves of her womanly frame dance in her uniform as she moved. Her hair was cut shoulder length, and its dark color matched her eyes. "Major Virgis, you're a sight for sore eyes. I heard you were ill," she commented, approaching to shake his hand. "Cleared quarantine 2 weeks ago. I'm good to go, ma'am," Cole assured her. Colonel Payne was not one to waste time with idle chatter, commanding, "Major General Mike Barnes is down on the border. They're trying to hold the line and facilitate trade. Our trucks can run supplies there, but we aren't risking moving them south of the border. Escort the caravan outside and then report to General Major Barnes." As she finished her order, the sound of heels echoed in the hall. The door was thrown open, and the smell of the woman's perfume stifled the air. "Colonel Payne, this situation is unacceptable," Julietta Blanchard declared. Her long brown hair was carefully styled, and Cole noticed her pantsuit didn't have a wrinkle. "Brace yourself. Here comes trouble," Colonel Payne whispered under her breath to Cole as Julietta stepped forward. "Colonel Payne, they're practically giving away those supplies. These numbers are unacceptable." Julietta paused for a moment. She was looking at Cole curiously. He wasn't someone she had seen around before. "Oh, excuse me. Am I interrupting?" she asked him. "No, ma'am. Please continue," Cole said politely with a smile. As Julietta went to open her mouth, Colonel Payne interrupted her. "Julietta, we discussed this." Offended by the woman's tone, Julietta countered, "We discuss larger shipments, but this is highway robbery. How will I afford materials to produce your medical supplies?" "We will secure them for you. People are dying, Julietta. They need everything we can provide. Please excuse me for a minute." Colonel Payne turned back to Cole. "Major Virgis?" "Yes, ma'am," he said crisply. "You have your orders. I'm going to be a while." Her eyes rolled as she finished dismissing Cole. "Yes, ma'am," Cole replied with a small smile. He approached the office door, thankful he didn't have to face off with any more delegates. Chappie and Monroe were outside the truck, stretching their legs and watching Cole approach. "What's the plan, sir?" Chappie asked. "We're headed south to the border," Cole informed them. "Monroe, you're driving." "Yes, sir," Monroe agreed. "He got to drive last time," Chappie argued. "That's because you suck," Monroe teased. "No, I don't." "How many vehicles have you wrecked?" Monroe asked as they entered the transport. Chappie started thinking about it. "There you go," Monroe stated, watching him think. "How many have you wrecked?" Chappie countered. "Stow that shit, you two," Cole interjected, stopping the banner. "Monroe, pull up and join that caravan with the other transport. We're going south with them. Then we're reporting to Major General Barnes."
Fish mocks. Fish docks. For the longest time, preppers have been looking for an answer for antibiotics in a disaster or emergency. In 2020, we watched the supply chain fall apart. When I met the team at Jace Medical, they explained to me how they can put a prescription of backup antibiotics into your hands. The Jace case is 5 different types of antibiotics. Unlimited physician follow-up for any questions relating to the use of these antibiotics, and a written emergency antibiotic guide that is authored by a board-certified physician. This is the antibiotic solution preppers have been waiting for. Go to jacemedical.com and check out the Jace case. Use the promo code PBN10 and you'll get $10 off your Jace case. All right, take your medical preparedness to the next level. Go to jacemedical.com and use promo code PBN10 for $10 off.
Hello and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. This is episode number 411, season 3, episode 16. Hey, Chin, what's up?
Hey, chin's up, y'all.
So, that was a fun show last week with Rick. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it went off the rails.
Yeah, I enjoed that one immensely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't focus on anything we were supposed to, which is fine. But it was a great show nonetheless.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So,
well, after I went back and listened to it.
yeah. Well, I lost you.
Y'all kicked me off.
We
got something to talk about. Boom, you're out here.
I was not going to call you like mid-swing, like, oh, hold on, Rick. Let me get him back, you know.
Right. Yeah, and I wasn't going to interrupt because I'm sure you got wound up, so I'll just chill.
So, last week in the Virgis adventure, they got out of quarantine. They had like the funny scene where they're sitting at the tables, like trying to pick out girls, and Monroe was like, "Nah, you can't get the pretty ones. They're too high maintenance." Yeah. And then there was the cute little Johnny scene. I liked that scene too, where he was like, "Don't go, I don't want you to leave." So they're going down to help get medications to people and help other people, make sure they have access to it. So today they set off on their mission. We got the first look at the Minnesota FEMA camp. That's pretty nasty place to be. So, it even had like the stank and the dirt when they were pulling up and stuff.
Well, it's a nice, enjoyable ride too, bouncing around.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Because the roads, takes a lot to maintain roads. And, you're looking at a collapse scenario. A lot of that is going to fall apart really, really quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, like, where's your priorities at? Especially when they got the sick rolling through, and now you're losing people left and right because of if you think about a collapse scenario. We're going to talk about the medication aspect of it today, but like the cleanliness aspect that we enjoy, right?
Uh-huh.
And so you don't have that anymore. You have people starting to get sick. Hospitals can't function on the same level that they would nowadays, any kind of power down situation, all that's out the window. The generators are only going to run for so long. So,
right.
Yeah. Yeah, so they get down there and big conversation about the production of pharmaceutical drugs and how they're getting that done. And, the pandemic really, I think, made us think a lot more about, like, where does this stuff actually come from?
No kid, it's scary to think about.
Right?
Everybody thinks America is a great producer. That the pandemic showed how much is not here.
Right. Yeah, how much
made.
we're not doing anymore, which is really spooky. So first article on the docket today is just taking a look at like what drugs people are actually taking, which I found this article and I thought it was pretty darn spooky. I'm going to throw the link in the live chat. But you guys can also come on over to my blog and I'll put all the resources because it's going to be a heavy resource day today. We found some good stuff. So this is from 2023 and they are reporting the singlecare.com website on their prescription drug statistics are reporting 525% increase in fills for hydrochloroquine.
I put that down. That stuck out. I was like, yeah.
Right?
What was one of the hot topics, right? The hot potato in the discussions of drugs, right?
Hydrochloroquine.
And it went up 525% in 2021.
Yeah.
Dosage.
From,
dosage handed out.
Yeah, this is a year increase.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at, yeah, how much it increased in the year. Lexapro, 70%. Lexapro, a lot of these are antidepressants.
That,
yeah. Also scary.
Stuck indoors with people you might or might not.
Yeah. And not only that, but now with all of like the online nurses and stuff, you can just call in. My friend's sister called in and was given a prescription for lithium over the phone.
Did you see that the 66% of the U.S. population takes one or more prescription drugs?
Yeah, 1 in 3, dude.
Probably falls in. It's so easy to get it now.
Yep, exactly.
With the phone in and that's
1 in 3.
The online stuff, doctors over the internet and stuff.
It's crazy.
66% of the population.
Yeah.
It's on prescription.
So if we have some kind of a collapse, and that is no longer the case, all of those people on the lithium, on all of those antidepressants, boom. You're just, they wean people off of that stuff. And so it's just be gone. Like, people are going to go psycho.
Cold turkey.
Yeah. Yeah. The 66% was crazy. The age grouping is obvious, but like what I thought was weird was 27% of adolescents 12 to 19 used a prescription in the last 30 days. That's a third of people 12 to 19. That's insanity right there. And
I saw the one, I guess it was talked about college and stuff, but in 2018, 1 in 7 teens were taking prescription drugs that were not prescribed to them.
Right.
1 in 7.
Yeah.
That's a high number.
6% of high school seniors reported taking Adderall in 2017.
Yeah, all those study drugs, right? That get
Vicodin. Yeah. Right. And that's not even touching on the opioids. Okay. The opioids, sorry, forgive my Michigan accent, but the opioids, 50,000 people died in what year was it? For 2019, I believe it was 50,000 people. Okay. Not that many people even died from all this virus BS they were talking, That is just
Did you
crazy
see the
in and of
billions
itself.
of dollars spent on drugs, and then the billions. I didn't write it down, but the billions of dollars that it costs, like the economy.
511 billion on medications in 2019. That was before the 525% increase. And right?
Holy smokes.
Brand name drugs make up 80% of that. Humira, remember all those commercials? They made $21 billion in 2018. Yeah. That nobody should be like, come on now. And there's poor people. It had a report here. Nearly 30% skipped a medication or refill because it was too expensive.
Did you see? I saw there was a study where Medicare, they used Medicare data, and it showed international mail order drugs were 75.5% lower than the cost of the drugs in America and in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's like, no wonder why we can't afford, our people can't, like fixed income, seniors and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Can't afford the drugs. We're over 75% more than the rest of the world.
85% of adults 60 and older reportedly use prescription drugs in the past 30 days. So that's 85% of people 60 and older are on those prescription drugs. They are the ones that are filling the coffers, and they are on these fixed incomes. All of their bills are going up. It is just crazy.
They did the average cost for Canadian drugs shipped from Canadian pharmacies was 70% less than U.S. pharmacies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our neighbor.
Yeah.
70% less.
Oh, yeah. You can go down to Mexico and get them so much cheaper than here. It's not
but that's
even funny.
Canada. I mean, Mexico.
Yeah.
Well, you might say, "Oh, Mexico, you're getting away stuff off the floor or whatever." But Canadian, you know what I mean? Oh,
yeah.
That's a huge number.
It is. That's a huge difference. We are being murderized for money. We are. I wasn't going to use a different word, but I don't want to use that word. I mean,
I like murderized. Word of the day, kids.
Yeah. Drug abuse costs the U.S. more than $740 billion in costs related to crime, loss of work productivity, and healthcare. Opioid drug use costs U.S. $78.5 billion every year. Outpatient detox costs $1,000 to $1,500 on average. And inpatient rehab can cost $6,000 to $2,000 or $20,000 for a 30-day program. That's insanity right there. But they're just raking it in on these prescription drugs.
Both sides of it. Both sides of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Providing the drugs and then fixing the problem after they get people hooked up.
Just like food. Just like food. Huge percentage of that is the diabetes, and it's all being created from the foods that we're eating. So. Oh,
I did find a cool website when we were looking at, because I did like searches for disaster, meds and stuff. And with diabeticdisasterresponse.org. It seems to be a really good resource to help people figure out, issues of diabetes and
and
during emergencies and stuff.
What to do when? Do I have that one pulled up? I was going to talk about the. I
can drop it into the.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Chat.
I'm ready today.
But that looked like it didn't really. I mean, it kind of fell in line with it, but I definitely want to mention that because diabetes is such a main thing in our society that if people don't know about that might be something to just check out. Yeah,
and it's one you definitely have to get ready for. And what did you say? 60% of people are not preparing at all.
Right. And then of the 40% that are, FEMA doesn't think they're doing a very good job of it.
Right.
And then they give people like those listening to us now a big old pile of poo because we do try to take care of ourselves. Right? We do
try to get people information.
Take care of our family and make sure our neighbors are looked after.
Right.
And but we get shunned in the media and everything else. That's crap.
That's all right. That's all right. If we got thick skin, and if we weren't sent here, we all got to bear our crosses sometime, right?
It's just amazing to see the two-faced side of this whole thing.
Right?
They're like, you're not looking after yourself. You don't take precautions for your own good.
Well, you're just fear-mongering.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. You can't. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean.
Well, I'd rather be damned if I do. So.
Me too. Okay, so where are our medications coming from? It's really tough to say, honestly, and that's scary.
From a ship somewhere.
Yeah, from a ship somewhere being created somewhere. Because I found this really great article at the University of Minnesota on where the top 100 brand drugs are made, right? And they even say the 100 top main drugs, 32 were finished in the United States.
What does that mean? They're packaged?
What, they put the coating on them in the United States?
No, they're probably put in fancy, pretty bottles and boxes,
Right?
They're finished. But they came over as big old bags
of pills.
Of pills, yeah.
Yeah. 67 of them were finished in the European Union. Canada, Japan, Singapore, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. Only one brand name drug was made in India. Mm-hmm. But they don't say where they're started. That's just where they're finished. So that is very spooky, And then they're saying that all the generics basically are made in Asia. Mm-hmm. So is it just...
I thought India had a bigger take on that.
Right. Well, India would be included in the Asia market. On that note,
when that whole COVID thing started, there was a big talk about India, I thought.
Right. So they're trying to say they're trying to get laws passed that would, our food, we know where it comes from, right? Or made in China on your clothes, right?
From the anthill.
Maybe you'd want that on your prescription medications. I don't know. I'm just thinking, right? That, I mean, you could be taking, you don't even know what you're taking.
I know. But
that's what trips me out.
I almost and said, what does it matter? It's not like you can not, we don't have, peanut butter, there's 25 different brands of peanut butter on the shelf. There's not that for prescription drugs, right?
Right.
There's only a couple, maybe 2 or 3.
There's
maybe
this one or the generic
That's
one.
it. It's not like you have any choice.
Right.
You have a choice to take or not take or whatever, but you can't shop around really if you decide that you are going to go prescription drugs.
Yeah. All right. You can't go I'm going to go check it out over here. I'm going to go check it out over here. Yeah. Oh, these are the quality, the different qualities.
I don't want the, now, everybody, people say, oh, I'm not going to buy whatever.
Right. This is organic products. Yeah. This one's used this way. So, there's no information on that. It's just this is what the doctor gives you. You go to the place, they fill your prescription. That's what you get. And you have no idea. And most people don't even question that. When I started having stomach problems in 2008, they literally put me on 5 different anti-somethings. And I had the pill bottle for each day of the week to make sure I was taking what I was supposed to. And I was like, none of this is really doing it for me. All I do is feel like crap and take a lot of pills now. And the doctor was like, oh, it's because you're a female and you're a hypochondriac. He's lucky, first of all, I didn't knock his teeth down his throat. Okay. Second of all, when I was in the car on the way home,
after that conversation.
Yeah, I threw all that crap out the window. I was like, I spar every single day. I work out. I play ice hockey. You want to talk about... Okay, I could take pain.
Tolerance, right?
Yeah. So, okay, but I am throwing up and in the fetal position. And it's not because of lack of medication, you know. So, yeah, luckily I found a good doctor that actually listened to me. We did it away from insurance. You know, I paid him like $300. He talked to me for like 3 hours. And we really analyzed what was going on with me. It turned out my gallbladder was just not pumping properly, but it didn't have stones, things like that. So it was kind of miffing to Western medicine. But it just took that moment for somebody to like actually go through and analyze me as a person.
That's important.
Yes.
Instead of just go to these check box on your little tablet, you know, the doctor sits there and asks,
symptoms,
check. Okay,
equals
this
that
is your
pill.
prescription. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, exactly.
Right? And so that's why I'm always like,
more old school.
Get a holistic second opinion at least. Because that doctor is going to be like, hey, you know, yes, this problem is something you need to get this report and that report from the Western medical industry, and then we'll analyze what's going on with it. And they're going to talk to you about like potential side effects of your prescriptions and stuff like that.
That's kind of like what we're missing from the old school, like when you used to have the country doctor that would come around, like he delivered like your mom, he delivered you know, like the whole family. He knew the whole family history because he was there for it.
Right.
Nowadays, it's like we have all these specialists. They don't know you from anything. They just kind of pull up this little blurb on a computer, and it's supposed to be more.
They don't even know you. Like, they don't even see you now. You call on the phone.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of times it's like the nurse or whatever that's doing everything, and then the doctor pops in for 2 seconds and then leaves again to the next.
Yeah, it's insane. I am so upset about the medical industry that.
That's the problem. What was the second word? Industry.
Yeah, industry.
Yeah.
I'm so upset about it that, you know, it'd be tough pressed to see me in any kind of. I'm like, forget it. If the Lord wants me, then whatever, you know. But so anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay. So we don't know where our pills are even being made. We don't know how they're being made. We don't get to be told like what's in them. These vaccinations that they're giving us, we have no idea what's in them. We don't know the long-term effects. We don't know if when you go to get a vaccine for this, if it has, you know, something else in it that you didn't want. You know, so right now, there, with the lack of trust in all of the major industries, it's a little tough to trust anything that's going on there as well. But regardless, if you are a preparedness person, you have a medical condition that you don't have the choice to live on this planet and whatnot. You have to keep this problem under control. So you should definitely be thinking about herbal alternatives if that is possible. Because even like if it's a last ditch effort, at least you have something to turn to when you can't get your medications. Or like you can stock medications, you can get those extras every time. Or a lot of doctors are very lenient. They don't care. They hand it out like candy. You know, as long as it's not like a pain type medicine or an opioid, but like an extra bottle of your blood pressure medicine. Most doctors usually don't have a problem. Like if you explain to them what's up.
I saw one of our articles was they were saying that like if there's a state of emergency and stuff declared, that you can get so much, like you can get an extra month, that you can all this other stuff. So it might be worth looking into what your state.
Was that the AARP?
I think it was.
Article?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put that.
And they were talking about North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia were a couple of the states that they mentioned.
Yeah.
Where like when they declared an emergency, that you know, pharmacies were allowed to like refill a prescription for an extra so much, you know, so many, like a month or whatever, so that you were able to have. And they did a good checklist on, you know, like make sure you have your prescriptions, you know, what you're supposed to be taking, have them in a watertight container, you know, because they talked about one person that just was it Katrina that they left and they didn't bring all the Harvey. That's right, yeah, Harvey, and they left and didn't bring all their drugs with them, and then they were having a problem, because they didn't have enough.
Yep.
They thought they were just going to be gone for the weekend or whatever, and it turned into a long.
And they have a lot of good resources on there too for like getting it, getting prepared, and low income patients can go to community health centers or clinics, and they have like resources on where those might be in your area. So probably a good idea to know ahead of time. For people who need chemotherapy or other cancer treatments.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yes. They in that article, they listed some resources that you go to, like websites and stuff that you go to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good article.
There, you put it up on the chat. Yep, Perfect. Yep.
Yeah, like I said, I was prepared tonight because there was so much great info that we came up with, because it's a major problem. I mean, and it's a really hard one to solve. And then, you're in a hurricane. What if you couldn't get back to your house? What if you were gone for the day?
Or if your stuff got flooded, or if your house got flooded, or
you're
rain down, water damage or something, flooding up or rain down or whatever it is, or wind, and you had extra, prescription put aside, but then it got ruined because of water.
Yeah. And cutting off these prescriptions can be a big deal. That's why I said
people, right. Some of these,
catastrophic situation, CME, a big one, the big ones we talk about. I mean, that's where you're talking about losing a lot of the population right there, because we have a lot of people who are reliant upon those meds.
Like refrigeration and stuff, for some meds have a lot of diabetic insulin and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, long term, something like that, you need to have like some kind of pivot. Even if it's not going to keep you as healthy as you are right now, at least you have something, But
even do you have a little car refrigerator or something, or that you run off of batteries, and just to keep your insulin at the proper temperature?
That was the Negan story on Walking Dead. That
was in the what was it? 1 second after.
Oh,
because the main character, his daughter had a need for insulin. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so that's great. Like, in that year, maybe a year, but I really don't think so. We're talking like 6 months till all of that resource would be exhausted. Any that's stored anywhere, it'd have to be somebody is producing it. Somebody is able to produce it in a post-collapse scenario. Is anybody thinking that far ahead? Like, who's out there thinking that far ahead? Like generators and stuff, or like water, hydro, maybe to run, because you can't even count on sunlight. So like if you had a hydro system to run your factory to where you can produce it, like you're gonna be you'd be the shit afterwards.
Well, bicycle generator.
Yeah, you got to have people down there to run them, though. Sheila's coming. I mean, I don't know if you're going to have volunteers, so. But yeah, I mean, maybe. If it was my kid who needed it, I'd be on that bike running that factory for him.
Right?
Mm-hmm. You can bet. Maybe all those things to keep it going, but like, these are the things we could start thinking about now if people would like rationalize that, yes, the planet is going to change. No matter what we do as human beings, okay? They can put all kinds of controls on us, whatever. If you want to believe that human beings are the cause, whatever, do your thing. But guess what? No matter what we do, this earth would be here and will continue on whether humans are here or not. And this earth is going to make changes whether humans are here or not. And so we have to rationalize the fact that the earth is going to change. How are we going to adapt when that happens?
Man, the changing earth.
All right? God, it's like somebody wrote a book or something on that.
Series, I heard.
Yeah, right? Like the series is pretty cool. I heard the audio drama is pretty cool. This season,
is.
Yeah, I've heard this season is just off the chain. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh, got some great artists doing music on there, and it's going well.
I can't wait to hang out with the cast of characters again at Prepper Camp this year.
I know. I'm so
My
excited.
family.
I'm so excited. Like, yeah, I got my handcuffs ordered.
Oh, gosh.
For my anti-kidnapping class.
Don't take that out of context.
Yeah, it's for
We're going to the
my
Freedom Reunion,
anti-kidnapping. You can come by my booth and I will teach you how to get out of handcuffs,
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be that way. So I got like police issue ones and all that, so I can teach people how to get out of handcuffs, the duct tape, the zip ties, all that stuff you can get out of, folks. You're not a prisoner. So, yeah. We'll do some videos on my website.
As long as I can get out of being the class dummy.
Yeah. Well, I can't.
We'll be tied up, and we'll explain.
It does damage to my arms actually to escape. So I'm gonna have that on video. I won't be showcasing it every day, but yeah, because it does do damage. It works. You can get out of the situation. But I lose major hair, and people will be like, oh, put a bunch of duct tape on, and let's see if it works. It does work. I've done it before. But, man, yeah, it makes you sore. But if it's your life on the line, you do whatever it takes. Okay. So be prepared. Surviving natural disasters with diabetes. This was another great article that you found on diabetes. They have resources for you guys. And
that's like a whole topic in and of itself, but I thought that site was pretty good.
Yeah.
That article was good.
Yeah, I like this article as well. So I'm going to throw that one up on the chat as well. Great day to be in the chat if you want info.
Oh,
yeah.
Talk about resources you're plastering up there.
Yeah.
Please be on the chat.
What was so much good stuff that I found today. I just couldn't bring like all of it, to the show today. So
if you're not in the chat, you got to go to element.io, create a screen name, and then email the Intrepid Commander.
He's got directions too. If you just go to Prepper Broadcasting Network, you go to live chat. He's got directions right there to tell you how to get onto the live chat.
It's such a fun group. I mean, there's all different rooms for different topics.
Yeah, if you've got a question, like any question, oh my gosh, you will get an answer.
And you don't have to worry about being harassed or.
It's the safe space again. Yeah, it's like being at prepper camp. Yeah, it's good people. Everybody's vetted. Nobody's on there being an a-hole. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to be inappropriate. There's no inappropriate.
People are
even the language is good. Yeah. Yep.
People are always helpful, posting pictures or posting, sites or
gardening
links to products that they've had and tried and used.
Projects. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Way
Garden Girl just posted we don't bite.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
So no, it's a good people there. You're missing out if you're not part of the chat. Okay, last thing, guys. Make sure you stay up on your first aid kit. So there's all kinds of like pre-packed kits you can buy. Any old sheets, you're definitely going to want to save those. Yep. Things get used from the first aid kit though, right? You might be like, yeah, I'm totally stocked. And then the years
right now is a great time to pick it because there's so much stuff going on clearance. That, I've gotten like gauze bandages and all kinds of stuff on clearance right now. I guess after the big tidal wave of purchasing for the pandemic, now they got stuck with orders. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've been seeing.
And they have like a date on them, like that they're supposed to sell by or whatever, right? So
as long as it's still packaged and not been disturbed.
For your kit, it doesn't matter.
Burn kits. Like I've been picking up burn kits and like bug bite kits and all this stuff like pennies on the dollar. I've been just grabbing a box of, like a case of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some fantastic sites out there too where you can, just get it by the bulk.
Yep.
You can always go to anybody that does training too.
Get it now. Don't wait for the next emergency. Yeah,
right? Stock it while you can. It's just smart thought process. And make sure that your kit, I'm guilty of it right now. I need to do a restock on my kit myself right now. I've been, use up the hydrogen peroxide. You buy all this stuff, use it up over the years. But that's a cool thing, is that like you're using it up over the years. You're ready to go on that level. So so make sure your first aid kit is good. And funny enough, we were both looking at the same site. You picked up the first aid kit there from the single care site. But when I had my disaster store, man, we had some great kits on there. Oh God, I can't remember the company, but they were like an emergency company that had great stuff. Where you can just buy like the whole kit. They're kind of expensive though. I mean, if you can piece it together off of clearance, you're going to save money. But if you have the money to just throw down on it, I would just go grab one of those kits.
Just keep your eyes open. No matter what store I go into, I look for the clearance aisle. For the clearance. And I'm always looking and I've been amazed at how, like all the masks, all the gloves, all the gauze, all this kind of stuff. It's just clearance right now.
Right.
I even found poison ivy stuff that I brought down from my mom. She attracts that stuff, but got her lotion.
The soap that that Dave's wife makes.
Yeah.
Fantastic! I love those natural soaps for the poison ivy. Oh, the other kit that I would recommend. Of course, you can always go to Doom and Bloom. Duh. Yep. Yeah. So Doom and Bloom's got all kinds of great stuff over there. And the dental kit, right? I think the dental kit is more important than even a surgery or like the stitching kit.
Oh, I got those strips too. Those what are they called? Sturdy strips?
Where you can just make stitches that way.
Yeah.
But I
bought 5 boxes of those.
If you get like bit by an animal or like gunshot wounds, stuff like that, when you're in the field, most doctors that I've talked to are like, don't stitch it. Because if you stitch an infection in there, it can be worse than just leaving it open and letting it drain. So I'm like, well, how important is it to have a stitch kit then? Like, unless you were like laid open, I'm trying to find the dental kit because that's the one, dude. Like if you had a toothache, I am not gonna want you coming at me with a pair of pliers or a drill. Like, no. But toothaches are the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, they hurt so bad and they can get so infected and then they can give you really bad heart problems. So they can like stop your heart from tooth problems. It's crazy. I don't know what's up with that. It's like a kill switch or something. But I've heard of a lot of people that just passed away. It was due to a toothache. The preparedness dental kit. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
For the win, huh?
Well, like I say, I mean, if you had a tool that you could actually use, so like, all right, all I got to do is use this thing and pull it out instead of like a screwdriver or a drill.
I've got a Dremel.
Yeah, no. See, no, that's no.
Those little bits for the Dremel look a lot like the dentist tray.
No, I'm good. I
can polish it too. I got a little polishing thing. I'll polish it up when I'm done.
Like, oh gosh. Oh, anyway, Doom and Bloom has one. I'll just drop this article in here because we got to jump into some Changing Earth. Changing Earth. There you go. Dental kit.
Nice.
Post it up. Don't be stuck with that one. I would be right now, But okay, let's go ahead and get into some Change in Earth news. There you go. And I did the little cheering thing there. Yay, Change in Earth news. All right. I guess I really need a mixologist.
Is that like a bartender?
Yeah, I need one at Prepper Camp and one to run my audio. Okay. Solar news. So we had this little M-class flare. And again, it threw northern lights down to Arizona, dude. It should not have happened. It's the 5th time this year that the northern lights have gone way far south than they should have from the amount of plasma energy that was blown off of the sun. It should have been like no big deal, like some Arctic lights, typical stuff. But it went all the way down to Arizona. Just insane. Shouldn't happen. So right now, we currently have an M-class coming at us, and then we had an X-class released this morning. So both of those are going to be glancing blows, but it's going to be real interesting to see how much that affects the planet. So that's going to be interesting to keep eyes on. Going over the Change in Earth news this week, there was a lot of articles on how difficult it's going to be to insure certain areas of the world. So I found that rather interesting that lots of articles, I saw 3 or 4 of them about how Canada is going to be difficult to insure, about how parts of Spain, Italy, going to be difficult to insure. Obviously, I work in California. I see the squeeze that's starting to happen there. So just a heads up on that one. That one, I knew it was coming because I'm in that industry, but to see like 3 or 4 articles starting to pop up about like the realities of how uninsurable things are getting to be because of the expense of it, that's concerning. That's concerning. Because what do? Mortgages make you have that stuff. It's just how it is. So, okay. So let's go on. I have to eat a little crow today on the show. So we've been having all these heat waves. And a bunch of articles are coming out about how the Hunga Tonga eruption may be causing these heat waves. And when the Hunga Tonga eruption happened a couple of Februarys ago, it threw up the most amount of water vapor we've ever seen in a volcanic eruption because it was an underwater eruption, right? And I was like, volcanoes never warm the planet. This is just more BS about global warming and da-da-da-da-da. And now with the water vapor sitting in the upper atmosphere, it could actually be magnifying the sunlight more and warming our planet. And so it's viable. I have to eat a little crow. It might be the first volcano that is actually like warming our planet a bunch. So, sorry guys. I try to be accurate, but it is science. And it's a possibility. It's a good possibility. I'd buy that over the carbon BS any day of the week. So, when it comes to it. All right, so let's jump back to July 31st. So, interesting thing happened. They've been watching this asteroid, Comet 12P, Pons Brooks, and what happened was it grew horns, right? And yeah, it had volcanic.
That sounds ominous.
I know it had volcanic eruptions on the asteroid that blew lava out into space. Like they watched it happen. Volcanic eruptions on the asteroid spewing lava into space. That's pretty cool Pretty cool stuff in my book, Kid who grew up on Star Trek and whatnot. That's pretty neat. I had to write this one down just because Lee's Summit is in my book. I had it come up. I had a visitor from Lee's Summit last week. We were talking about it. And then this week, Lee's Summit, Missouri was hit by lightning that started a fire there, and one of the firefighters was injured. So
you lit up the back channels talking about that.
I know. I was like, Swenson's on my website. I'm in trouble. So again, I had to include Lee's Summit in my Changing Earth news because they have my heart. They're in one of my. I've never been there, but they're in my books. So I've done a lot of research on that place. Okay, Japan was hit with a large hailstorm in the Gunma Prefecture, and Beijing has been seeing severe flooding all week long. As of July 31st, only 2 people had died, but that is going to go up as we continue through this week. Northern China was affected on the whole by Typhoon Doksuri, so they've been really, really struggling. They were talking about putting like a moat around the city to keep the flooding back and whatnot. It's been really, really intense in Beijing. Massachusetts was hit by the second tornado, an EF1 tornado, second one in 2 weeks to hit Massachusetts, which isn't very normal. Wildfire lit up in the Mojave Desert. They're calling that one the York Fire. And spread into Nevada. It's doing a lot of damage in the Mojave National Forest there. Fast-moving fire in Montana and Lolo, Montana sparked evacuations. And then there was a big fire up in Washington near Diablo Lake that was sparking some evacuations.
A fire near Diablo Lake. Huh?
Yeah. Spokane, Washington, up there as well, was having a bunch of fire activity this week, so just eyes on all that. On August 1st, there was 423 earthquakes that were 2.0 or bigger. We are at a moderate level for that day. The biggest of which was a 5.7 in the Bering Sea by Russia. So, big day for earthquakes that day. We had a lot of solar activity going on, so that's probably why. The Philippines, the Mayan volcano was continuing to erupt. Bunch of problems from that one erupting. And Indochina was hit by a haboob. Big dust storms is basically what haboobs are. And we had them hit in California. We had them hit in Phoenix again. Ethiopia saw a big earthquake, a 5.5, 5.0 hit Turkey in the Konya province. It was about 4.49 miles or 7.25 kilometers deep. Nobody was injured from that. The fire that was in California grew to about 30,000 acres that day, 70,000 acres in Nevada. 20 people came up on the death count for Beijing, and 27 were still missing at that point. It was declared the heaviest rainfall they've seen in 140 years. We had baseball-sized hail coming down in Calgary and extreme storms in Kanto, Japan, lightning, hail. Lightning's been a lot of the big story, big uptick in lightning. And if you're really interested in that topic, go back to Suspicious Observers just for this past week. He did a really cool article on some of the new lightning, and the pictures of it are gorgeous, and how it has a bigger effect on our upper ozone layer, and because it's just so much lightning, it's basically blasting it away. And what, the repercussions of that's going to be, but it's phenomenal. It's a good thing and a bad thing to see that much lightning, that uptick. But it's what expected to see when our magnetic shield is weakening, basically. So on August 2nd, there was 429 earthquakes that were 2.0 or bigger. We were still at a moderate level for that day. 429 is a pretty big number, the biggest of which was a 5.8 in the South Pacific Ocean near Fiji. Tokyo had flash flooding. Just Asia is still just getting nailed over there. And there was a 5.0 earthquake at the Nicobar Islands, a 4.2 near San Diego in California, and Typhoon Kanun caused evacuations to happen in Okinawa. That typhoon actually came ripping through, then bounced off Asia back at Japan again. So that was a big deal. A big event for them there. On August 3rd, there was, hold on one second, 366 earthquakes that were 2.0 or bigger, the biggest of which was a 5.9 in the North Pacific Ocean near Panama. Iceland has the new baby tornado I've been talking about. Well, the new baby tornado is actually new baby volcano is actually spawning tornadoes out of it. It's crazy, dude. You should pull up one of the pictures and put it up on the chat. It's not too hard to find. Really neat stuff. It's because of air temperature issues and then the amount of methane that's like exploding up out of it. But pretty cool to see like the new volcano spawning these tornadoes on top of it. You know, just wild Earth in action. Okay, on August 4th. There was 213 earthquakes that were 2.0 or bigger. We're still at a moderate level, but, you know, we're starting to wane down in the solar activity there. You see those numbers start coming down. Biggest earthquake of the day was still a 6.0. That's really, really decent in Indonesia. There was no tsunami warnings from that event issued. There was massive flooding and landslides in the country of Georgia, though, which caused evacuations. And in Slovenia, they were hit really hard as well. Southwestern Kentucky and northwestern Tennessee saw some severe flooding events, which prompted some evacuations. Big hail in Wisconsin. Ottawa, Canada was hit by severe storms as well. And then started turning up the burners over there in Iraq. They hit some extreme temperatures, 115 degrees Fahrenheit, about 45 degrees Celsius. There was a 2.5 earthquake in Lexington, Kentucky. That's a weird one to see. And there was also a 1.9 in South Carolina. So, you know, that's all Northern Craton movement. So I like to keep my eyes on that because that earthquake, if it hit the St. Louis area like it did back in the day, it's going to be big problems for that New Madrid fault line area. So we definitely keep our eyes on that. Okay, on August 5th, there was 210 earthquakes that were 2.0 or bigger. The biggest of which was a 6.2 in Argentina. That was a big earthquake that happened down there. We were at a high level still. The Argentina I thought it was pretty deep earthquake, so we didn't have much damage on top. So it wasn't as, thank goodness it wasn't as catastrophic as it could have been because that's a big earthquake. There was a 5.6 that happened in the Hindu Kush Mountains in India. It was felt all the way down to Delhi. Thick dust storms, heavy rain hit Dubai and Sharjah. Massive dust storm hit Phoenix. The York fire grew to 100,000 acres in California, plus the damage from Nevada. Eugene, Oregon, there was a big fire that sparked up right by Eugene that's prompting evacuation. So, of course, that's going to make the news. Tennessee was dealing with the flooding. Slovenia was dealing with the flooding. 3 people actually passed away in that event. Pickens County, South Carolina, there was a tornado that touched down there. So lots kind of stirring right over by you guys.
South Carolina,
right? Harrisville, New York, the roads are being destroyed by heavy rain and the lightning strikes. So again, we're going to see the severe lightning start to uptick more and more. And they found like viscous rock by the pyramids, which is only caused by like heat strong enough to be like nuclear blasts, that kind of thing. Obviously, there was no nuclear weapon ever discharged over there, or else the pyramids wouldn't be there, right? So how did this sand turn to stone? How did it get that hot there? And they're thinking that it's during these cycles when you get this intense lightning, you can actually turn the sand to glass and whatnot, turn it into this viscous stone. So lightning is going to be a big event, and I'm telling you, if you look at some of those videos of the lightning, they've been seeing just massive, like hundreds of thousands of strikes in the sky, all over the place. It's just insane, dude. It's really cool pictures. Rutingen, Germany. I'm sure I screwed that up so bad. Rutingen, Germany, hit with a massive hailstorm. It formed 30 centimeter or 12-inch drifts in the peak of summer. So here you are, summer weather, hailstorm comes in, and we're talking 12 inches deep with hail. Absolutely insane. Pretty cool. Just from a changing Earth point of view, pretty cool stuff to see. 5.4 or 5.5 hit northeastern China last night. 21 people were injured in that event. 126 buildings collapsed, and that was a shallow quake. Did a lot of damage. And then there was also more rumbling in Kentucky, in central Kentucky, going on. So we're definitely going to have to keep our eyes on that and stay abreast of what's going on there. All right, so today we have had 393 earthquakes that are 2.0 or bigger. We're at a moderate level. The biggest earthquake today was a 5.7 in
South Sandwich Islands.
South Sandwich Islands. They made the top of the list today.
Yeah, let's go.
Right? So looks like it was out in the ocean. Near there, so our prayers are with everybody. Hopefully everybody's safe. Up in Juneau, Alaska, there was a dam that was containing a glacial lake that burst. It's a natural dam that just sometimes houses glacial waters. Burst its shores. It's causing some major flooding in that area. Bering, Missouri was hit by a tornado. A lot of damage happened from that tornado. It was an EF2 that came in. And then they're expecting golf ball size hail with 70 mile an hour winds in both Missouri and Illinois. So head up there, guys. San Marcos had a wildfire here in Texas. Only 300 acres, but it was really fast moving outside of Austin. One home was destroyed in that fire. And then New South Wales is dealing with a massive dust storm on the docket. So some interesting things going on today. And then, honestly, I forgot to do my volcano count, but I'm super interested. So I'm just going to take the time and do it with you. I know, man. I was like, wait, where's my volcano numbers? But, it only takes me a second. So let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 27, 28. I think that's 30. I'm going to throw it up in the live chat. You guys can count with me. Because we've had them up so high. I just don't want to leave it off the show today. Interesting stuff. So, go through it one more time. There you guys go. That's the count for today. 1, 2, 3. 30. Yeah, I just had to recount because I was like, wait, maybe I was just rushing and wasn't actually. We're still at 30 volcanoes erupting. That is seriously crazy.
And now the volcanoes are spinning off tornadoes.
Yeah, and that's the third week in a row. we've been up at as most as I've ever seen before. Now I got to know how much are showing unrest. Or minor activity. Let's just go through that real quick. 1, 2, 3. Amber wants to count to you.
I know she's.
30, 31, 32. No freaking way. No way. I'm going to have to count it again. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to bring silence, but holy moly. 1, 2, 3.
It's breaking news.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Oh my gosh. We've added more to it this week. This is crazy. I've never seen numbers as high.
That's why Amber's getting so excited. She wants to get in on the action.
Right? You guys, if you're watching the show and you can count along, please correct me if I'm wrong, because
Follow the bouncing ball.
I'm doing it on the air, so 9, 30, 31, 32. 32 showing unrest. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think we had 34 showing unrest last week. Let me look. So that's down to. Okay. All right. We can that's some adjustment. 33 showing minor activity and 30 still erupting.
Huh.
So that means we've added, this is a +3, and so we've added 1 from last week, +1 from last week. And we have 3 more showing minor activity and 2 less showing unrest. So probably 2 just went up to there, but 1 came on the board. Wow. Okay, so it even upticked even more. And we're getting ready to see some major solar activity come in at us. So there's a good chance it's going to uptick again. Crazy. We should be in for a cold winter. That's all I'm saying. Wow.
So are the Florida Keys going to see the lights show now?
I don't know.
Northern Lights.
I don't know. This time it did go down to Florida, went down. So depending on where it's
to Arizona,
right? It went to Arizona, right? But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking out for. We got another M class coming in, but we have that X class coming in as well. So that's going to be crazy time. I mean, it's just a wait and see. Really, you should not see this. This is the fifth time this year. Ben explains it like if you hit a baseball and it just flew into outer space and you're like, whoa, that's not supposed to happen. That's what this is like. Yeah. Okay, let's do wildfires. So as far as wildfires go, we have 458,807 acres on fire in the U.S. This is coming from 78 active wildfires. 5 of them are new. Only 2 of them are contained. Number 1 on the list for this week is still New Mexico. Despite all the activity that upticked, it's still New Mexico with 114,908. They have 2 new fires. They have 14 burning and 0 are contained. So that's not very great. Well, I'd like to see some of those get under control. It could be just area like that. There's no houses and stuff though. Right. Yeah. There's tons of just scrub out there. California is second on the list. They are finally getting turned on for the summertime. 97,000. You knew they were going to be on there eventually. 97,534 acres on fire. I bet you it's mostly coming from the York fire. That's 1 new one, 6 burning. And let's see how many are contained. None are contained all the way. I know that York fire has been moving very, very rapidly. So, sometimes as soon as they get, to the area to fight it, it's already past there. So, Montana is third on the list this week, which is they're also popping up. They were not there before. 51,577 acres. This is from 14 active, 2 new ones, 0 contained. Yeah, poor Montana's up there. It's just been dry up there. Alaska's number 4. They got 20 active fires, none contained. Oregon's number 5, 46,000 acres. 3 active fires, but they do have 1 contained. Hey, Texas is on there, down at 2,000 acres. Represent. North Carolina's not on there anymore. They got theirs out a while ago.
We burned out early.
Yeah, Colorado's low. Yeah, Washington's only at 17,000, so that's good. Arizona's down to 24,000, so that's good. Louisiana's on there, 435 acres. Way to go, Phil. Woo woo. Idaho is actually 8 active fires, 52,000 acres, so Idaho's burning as well.
Have some baked potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah, they're baking some potatoes. I like that one. All right, guys, so there's the update. Man, thanks for counting along on my volcano countdown. I was like, oh, no, I missed my volcanoes, and we've been having nothing but interesting news on volcanoes, and still it continues, which is crazy. So all of you that listen live, you got to count along with me. For those that didn't listen live,
follow the bouncing lava ball.
It's going to be edited, I hate to tell you.
Oh, come on.
No, not doing that, That's why you got to listen live. You get to hear the good stuff, the screw-ups. Then I take them out, and that didn't happen. I was prepared. I was ready to go.
Such a professional.
Yes, very professional. All right, so next week, kind of a cool show. We're talking earthquake preparedness. So it's been a while since I did this topic. Kind of excited to revisit it. That was like episode 1, 6 years ago when I started podcasting. I did earthquake preparedness. We might have revisited it as part of like a mass show, but I'm excited to do it again. So, alrighty. Well, audio drama 1 to 4 is up. We're going to be doing the binge show eventually on PBN, and we're doing the blooper show this year, which is going to be so much fun. I got some great bloopers. And now everybody's giving me better and better bloopers, so that part of it's only going to get better too. Yeah. I'm like, give me your mess ups, guys. So yeah, audio drama 1 to 4 is out. I will let you know when 5 to 8 is ready for release. And Virgis is out, getting ready for prepper camp. Hope to see as many of you there as possible. If you listen to my show and you're there, you better come say hello. I'll have my booth. By the
booth.
Yep.
Do the classes.
Have the booth. Come to a class. Have some fun. I want to make sure you stop by and say hello. So until
grab a cup of disaster coffee.
Yeah, we're always right by James. So yep. My husband's like the coffeeaholic. We're gonna be right there for sure. So, alrighty, guys. Until next time, remember: dream,
survive,
thrive.
Thank you for joining Sarah and Chen for this episode of the Changing Earth podcast. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Day After Disaster, Without Land, The Walls of Freedom, Battle for the South, Dark Days in Denver, and The Endless Night at www.authorSarahFHathaway.com. If you love the Changing Earth series and podcast, become a supporter while you're there.